You got the green and gold. You've always wanted it. How does that feel, man?
It's a surreal moment. Obviously, going from one big fight, which was a loss, into another big fight, comes with a lot of pressure. So it's been a lot of relief to get that off my shoulders. But to have the green and silver as part of my silverware is amazing. It's a belt that I've always wanted, and I didn't realize how nice and how beautiful the belt is until I actually acquired it. So one step towards being mission accomplished.
Talking about the fight, there seems to be a lot of chirping and comments and that from the Merhy camp before the fight started, that you engaged in a little bit, particularly at the weigh-in. You think that was just gamesmanship?
I think so. I don't think it was personal. Not really Merhy. You know, he is very professional and sportsman like myself. His trainer obviously had a lot to say. But, you know, whether that was tactics or trying to get in my head, you know, obviously he sparked me off at the weigh-in with something that he said. So I just had to get back in his face, you know, to let him know I'm not worried about his antics or what he's doing. I told him he can't fight for his fighter. And I said that in the fight when I started putting it on Merhy and peppering him. I looked at him, I said, you didn't study me hard enough, you know, because he kept saying that, we've studied you, we know you. I said, you didn't study me hard enough. And every time I was catching his fighter, I said, and now what? And now what? You know, so just to get in his head too. We can do it just as bad as they can do it, you know. But it was a great fight. Ryad Merhy is a terrific competitor and he's a great sportsman. So I have a lot of respect for Ryad Merhy.
Walking into the ring, he was waiting in the ring, waiting for you. What goes through your mind? What do you feel when you do that ring walk?
It's an amazing feeling. It's something that's very hard to describe if you've never done it. But it's obviously exhilarating, anticipation, anxious, and then you've got all your fans waiting for you, making noise and setting the place alight. So it's a proper vibe, and I think with my ring walk, which has become my ring walk now and something that people are accustomed to, they know when Kevin's coming to the ring and they get prepared.
Round one, jumped on him. Was that always the game plan, is to have a high work rate?
Yeah, Peter always said to me, we need to push him back early because this guy can only fight coming forward, really. He's very strong coming forward. So you need to put it on him, let him respect you, respect your power, and then put him on the back foot. So yes, that was the plan, to keep him going backwards.
First couple of rounds, you kept moving to your left. He landed a lot of straight rights on you, but your left hook was landing as well.
Yeah.
Were you concerned about that right straight from him?
Not necessarily, because I knew he's got a good right hand. I should have moved a little bit to the right, but you know, he was trying to line me up with his left hook. So people don't realize that a lot of his knockouts have come by countering with the left hook. And now if I'm moving to his right and I get a bit lazy on my jab, that's what he was hoping for. So I just moved a little bit to the left, and then what I actually wanted to do was move again to the right, so just keep him completely off balance. But sometimes I got stagnant in moving to the left and trying to slip his right hand. But yeah, listen, if you look back and you've watched, if I say I could have done this more, could have done that more, but in the moment of the fight, I knew what I was doing and why I was doing it. And a lot of people, I think the commentators say he's moving to the left. Well, he had a massive left hook, so I swear I was moving to the left because his right hand wasn't strong, but his left hook was.
You were landing a lot of lefts on as well with that move.
Exactly, and even in terms of his power, I felt his right hand, then I felt his left hook. Said, I want to move towards the right hand rather.
Do you think he was always trying to go for the knockout? Because it seemed like the whole 12 rounds his work rate was a hell of a lot lower than yours.
Yeah, I don't think we allowed him to work, Sean. I think I disturbed him with my cadence and my pace and me pushing him forward. Like I said, he can only fight going forward. Now, if he's on the back foot, it's something he's not used to, how's he going to really have a work rate? Because he's defensive and he can only fight coming forward. I mean, in the 12th round, when I allowed him to come forward, he looked a lot better because I allowed that. So for the 11 rounds, I didn't allow that. So I think it made it look like his work rate was low. And yes, he was hoping for the counter punch and the big punch, but because I messed up his rhythm. So that's all he kind of could rely on.
First 4 rounds, judges had it all even, and WBC announces it, so you knew exactly where you were in the fight. Looking back at the fight, do you think it was all even for the first 4?
I think it was maybe 3-1. I would have given him 1 round and given myself 3 rounds. Obviously, the judges are watching their fight and judging it from their perspective, but I would have given myself 3 rounds and him 1 if I was the judge. I thought round 1 I won. I thought round 2 was pretty even. I thought round 3 I won, and I thought round 4 I would have given to me or even. So, you know, I would have given it to myself, obviously. I felt like I was going forward in the aggressor. He was going backwards, and he wasn't landing that much. So I do definitely feel I would have given myself 3-1 in the first 4 rounds.
And after round 8, when they announced the results again, you were ahead.
Yes.
Does that Do you change your game plan at all, knowing the results?
Not necessarily, because I wanted to still do it in style. And I think I obviously could have forced the pressure a little bit more. And some people ask, what was making you not force the pressure? I said, well, he's a big counter puncher, and that's what he wants. He wants me to force the pressure to make a mistake. And he counters with a good right hand and a strong left hook. And that's a southpaw's nemesis. So I had to be smart in my approach and strategic to get to this fight, the eliminators. That was part of the mission. Now we need to go complete the mission. So I had to do everything I could do in my powers to get this objective out the way.
He was very much a counter puncher.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
You got to be the aggressor in the sense of keep him off balance and don't allow him to set, and then move your head after you punch. Because I think the biggest thing with a counter puncher is when you throw, they throw, or they throw with you. And if you don't have head movement or elusive head movement, they're going to land you. You know they're coming back with something, but what you do after your punch is the most important thing.
Round 10, he lost 9 and 10. You knew you needed a knockout. Did that change your approach to how you took those last 2 rounds?
Yeah, I think round 10, 11, so he lost the 10, so round 11, I still was the aggressor. And going into the 12th, I said to myself, I've won. Now just box your way to a victory. And then obviously he forced the pressure, which forces a fight. As much as I'd like to be on my bicycle, it's not really my style. I like to fight and I like to be in the pocket and have a bit of a go. And then he forced the pressure in the 12th round. He caught me with some good shots, and I knew that let's be smart. He's caught me with some good shots. Don't let him get more shots in. Use your jab, answer back. Show the judges you're not hurt. Answer back, and then the end of the round. And then I knew I was victorious.
30 seconds to go. He looked like he hurt you.
Yeah, he caught me with some good shots. Obviously, I'm durable in the sense of I showed my grit and my determination, and I stayed up and I was moving around and trying to throw back punches of my own. But yeah, and I knew it was going to come for me. And I said going into the start of that round, just be on your bicycle. But when you get into a dark fight, all the antics go out the window, and you're just in the fight, in the moment.
Where does this fight rank for you, performance-wise?
I think it was a good win for me. It was my biggest win to date. Obviously I've won other championship belts and world titles, but this was a big win for me in my whole career after coming off a big loss. So this is the most important fight for me and the most important win in my career. And we did it against a good fighter. So I'd say this is one of my top 4 performances for sure.
Are you settled into this weight division now?
Obviously very new to the division. The division has to grow, but it's a natural weight for me. So it almost feels like I'm fighting at heavyweight, to be honest.
Next up, you got Lucas Rozansky. If he takes the fight.
Yeah.
He could not.
He could not. There's been rumors that he might vacate the belt and move to heavyweight. So I don't know, because it will be disappointing, because with the eliminator is for the mandatory position. But let's see. I'm sure if the money's that's offered to him is good enough from his team, and if the money that's offered to us is good enough, the fight can happen. It's an eliminator. The WBC's ordered it. So what he does now is up to him, right? He's the champion. They've ordered it. The winner between Lerena and Merhy fights Rozansky for the gold. So he's got to take the fight. Otherwise, I presume they would strip him or he vacates.
Fight could either then be in Poland or South Africa. Obviously, South Africa is your first choice.
Yeah. Obviously, we'd love to get the fight here in South Africa. It's not going to be easy. I think, with the rand dollar, it will never be easy. But we're optimistic. I think Rodney Berman's very optimistic to get the fight here. So hopefully he can pull something off. Otherwise, we go to Poland and we just go back on the road again.
Within 90 days, the next fight, when do you now turn things around and start from square one with your next build-up?
Yeah, I'll start in about 3 to 4 weeks. Proper training, getting into full camp, depending when the fight is. I don't know if it's going to be 90 days, you said. So I presume like October, maybe. I think that's when I'd like to fight again. October. This was quite a hard fight in a sense, on hard on the body. I don't think I'll be out in the next 2 months. So maybe anything from 3 months onwards.
Then last shout out to your supporters and your family that stood by you.
Yeah, for sure. I've got great supporters, great fans. I mean, you saw Emperor's Palace record sellout, and the ticket prices were expensive. And I appreciate the fans for coming out. It shows a lot, and I'm humbled and grateful. And obviously to my family, my loved ones, and those close to me, and my sponsors that get behind me, they've done so much for me, and they stood by me after defeat. And I think that's the most important thing. I realized who my true friends were. I realized who my true sponsors were, and I realized who my real supporters were. So I'm eternally grateful for those special people in my life.